The Spark 2026. Tensions over territorial claims in the South China Sea escalate as a Chinese naval vessel collides with a U.S. warship patrolling the disputed waters. The incident results in significant casualties on both sides, prompting international outrage and a rapid deterioration in diplomatic relations. This collision acts as the catalyst for a series of retaliatory measures and aggressive posturing, pushing the world towards a new global conflict. The Economic War 2027. In response to the South China Sea incident, the United States and its allies impose severe economic sanctions on China. China retaliates by leveraging its control over rare earth elements, vital for electronics and military technologies, causing widespread shortages and economic turmoil. The global economy suffers as trade wars intensify, leading to a severe recession and increasing nationalistic sentiments worldwide. The Cyber Onslaught 2028. Cyber warfare becomes the new battlefield. State-sponsored hackers from both sides launch massive cyber attacks, targeting critical infrastructure, financial institutions, and communication networks. Major cities experience blackouts, financial markets crash, and misinformation campaigns sow chaos among the populace. The digital domain becomes as crucial as the physical in this evolving conflict. The First Shots 2029. Hostilities erupt as China launches a surprise invasion of Taiwan, seeking to reclaim what it considers a renegade province. The U.S. and its allies, bound by defense agreements, mobilize to defend Taiwan. Intense naval and aerial battles ensue, marking the official start of World War III. The conflict quickly expands beyond the Taiwan Strait, drawing in nations from around the globe. The New Alliances 2030. New alliances form as countries pick sides. The NATO alliance strengthens, incorporating new member states from Asia and the Pacific. Conversely, China solidifies its ties with Russia, Iran, and several African and Latin American countries. These alliances bring together diverse military capabilities and resources, shaping the global strategic landscape. The Battle for Space 2031. Space becomes a critical front in the war. Both sides deploy and destroy satellites, aiming to cripple each other's communication, navigation, and surveillance capabilities. Anti-satellite missiles and cyber attacks on space assets lead to a debris-filled low Earth orbit, complicating further space operations and posing risks to civilian space activities. The Bioterror Strikes 2032. In a shocking escalation, bioterrorism emerges as a new threat. Genetically engineered viruses and bacteria are unleashed in major cities, causing widespread panic and casualties. The origins of these attacks remain unclear, with both sides accusing each other. Public health systems are overwhelmed, and trust in government and institutions erodes further. The Nuclear Standoff 2033. North Korea, emboldened by its alliances, tests a new generation of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. This provokes a severe crisis, with both nuclear and conventional forces placed on high alert. The world holds its breath as diplomatic efforts strive to prevent a nuclear exchange, underscoring the fragile balance of power. The Humanitarian Crisis 2034. The war exacerbates existing conflicts and sparks new ones in volatile regions like the Middle East and Africa. Massive refugee flows and humanitarian crises emerge as millions flee the violence. International aid organizations struggle to provide relief amidst ongoing battles and disrupted supply chains. The human cost of the war becomes increasingly apparent. The Technological Arms Race 2035. The conflict drives rapid advancements in military technology. Autonomous drones, AI-powered combat systems, and enhanced cyber capabilities become commonplace. Both sides invest heavily in quantum computing and biotechnology, seeking any edge to gain superiority. These technologies begin to blur the lines between human and machine, creating ethical dilemmas and unforeseen consequences. The Propaganda War 2036. Propaganda and information warfare reach new heights as both sides vie for public support and international legitimacy. Deepfakes, AI-generated content, and sophisticated psychological operations target global audiences, spreading disinformation and manipulating perceptions. Truth becomes a casualty, and trust in media sources declines sharply. The Energy Crisis 2037. With traditional energy supply lines disrupted by the conflict, a severe energy crisis hits Europe. Shortages of oil and gas lead to widespread blackouts, economic downturns, and social unrest. The crisis accelerates investments in renewable energy and alternative technologies, reshaping the global energy landscape but also causing immediate hardship. The Climate Catastrophe 2038. The ongoing war exacerbates the climate crisis. Environmental degradation accelerates due to military activities and the collapse of international cooperation on climate initiatives. Extreme weather events become more frequent and severe, further straining resources and displacing populations. Climate change becomes an existential threat intertwined with the war. The Failed Peace Talks 2039. Despite multiple attempts, peace talks fail to yield a lasting resolution. Distrust and irreconcilable demands from both sides doom negotiations. The inability to achieve a diplomatic breakthrough prolongs the conflict, leading to further casualties and destruction. The world becomes increasingly desensitized to the ongoing violence. The Global Insurrection 2040. As the war drags on, internal dissent grows within many nations. Populations, exhausted by prolonged conflict and economic hardship, begin to rebel against their governments. Insurrections, civil wars, and coups d'état occur in several countries, adding to the global chaos. These internal conflicts further complicate the international war effort. The Technological Meltdown 2041. The reliance on advanced technologies backfires as a series of catastrophic failures and sabotage operations lead to a global technological meltdown. Power grids collapse, communication networks are disrupted, and AI systems malfunction. Society grapples with the sudden loss of technology, plunging many regions into a state of anarchy and regression. The Turn of the Tide 2042. A pivotal battle in Eastern Europe sees a decisive victory for NATO forces. Utilizing a combination of new drone swarms, cyber tactics, and superior strategy, they managed to halt and push back a major offensive by Chinese and Russian forces. This victory shifts the momentum of the war, leading to renewed hope among the Allied nations. The Rebel Coalition 2043. A coalition of rebel groups and dissenting factions from various countries convene at the United Nations. They propose a new global governance model focused on peace, sustainability, and technological restraint. This movement gains significant support, challenging the existing power structures and offering a potential pathway to end the conflict. The Armistice 2044. Exhausted by years of conflict and facing internal pressures, the warring parties agree to an armistice. The Paris Armistice lays the groundwork for a comprehensive peace treaty, involving significant territorial adjustments, disarmament agreements, and a framework for rebuilding war-torn regions. The global community cautiously embraces this new era of peace. The New World Order 2045. The post-war world undergoes significant transformations. A new world order emerges, characterized by decentralized governance, enhanced international cooperation, and a renewed focus on addressing global challenges like climate change, poverty, and technological ethics. Humanity begins the long process of healing and rebuilding, learning from the horrors of the Third World War.